Hi everyone, good morning. Welcome to Gnan Cloud Garage. So in this session, I'm going to talk about what is a solution architecture for local backup, disaster recovery in short form DR to Azure and the long-term retention LTR in Azure. Okay, and I will also show you the quick lab on how to create a long-term retention repository in Azure. Okay, so let's understand the architecture. So here is the solution architecture for local backup. So local backup means using Zeto we can able to take all our application workloads to local continuous backup. So this is the one level of backup, and another one is using the Zeto ZVM, and we can able to configure the architecture to take the backups to the Microsoft Azure hot DR storage, disaster recovery storage, and also we can configure the backup to cool LTR storage using Microsoft Azure. So this is the high level architecture for both. It covers the local backup, it covers the disaster recovery, and it will cover the long-term retention services. Okay, so now let me show you how to create a LTR repository in Azure. Let me log into our lab. Okay, so I'm connecting to the lab system. Quickly select the full screen and minimize the this one. Now I'm opening a widget for the Zeta one. Okay, so let's connect to the production. So log into the Zeto VM, ZVM VM. Okay, once we log in here, if you see from the ZVM console, we have a dashboard, sites, VPG. Specifically, if you want to configure a long-term retention LTR in our Zeto console, select the setup tab. In the right side, you can see VRS, what is the installed VRS, virtual replication appliances, and how many data stores we have. And we have a repositories. There is already one repository is configured with a network share. Okay, suppose if I want to add a repository in our Azure site, you can click on new repository. When you click on new repository, we need to enter the repository name. So repository name can be any name. So this information I just copy to our notepad. So let's say the name I am just choosing as a Azure repo. So any name you can keep based on your easy understanding. So storage type, you can use either network storage, and we have a cloud storage options. You can use AWS storage gateway. You can use AWS S3 simple storage service. You can use Google storage and Microsoft Azure storage. But in this session, we are using a Microsoft Azure storage. So we can select this option. Suppose if you want to change it to other one, S3 compatible storage. This S3 compatible storage, one best example is you can use Skeleti Ateska, Skeleti Ring, or you can use Cloudian, any other third-party storages, which are all supported for a S3 compatible. And network attached storage, we have network stare and purpose-built backup appliance. You can use Dell EMC data domain, Exagrade, and also if you want to configure HPE store ones also we can configure. And other deduplicated storage appliance also we can configure as a storage type. But in this session, I'm just focusing on the Azure, Microsoft Azure storage. And connection type using the Azure API application program interface, and Azure cloud you can use either global or government, but present I am selecting as a government. And Azure account name, and account name can be, let me copy the information as per the lab guide. So this is the account name. Generally I'm using the based on the lab guide information, I'm copying the account name. And the application ID, so this application ID and all we need to get it from the Microsoft. So for lab information, I just captured few information, application ID and also the tenant ID. So copy the tenant ID and paste it here. And also we need to enter the application key. That application key can be, you can use any of the key. For example, I given one sample key here. So key is nothing but a kind of password only. And immutability, this is the important point. Immutability means we cannot edit or modify. So for to provide a data security in our on-premises and the Azure cloud, the main important point is we need to enable the immutability. Immutability you can configure for 30 days or you can enable for per VPG retention policy. And the tiering options, if you want to see the tiering option, we can have a retention timings we can set and click on save. Okay, once you click on save, it is going to create a repository in Microsoft Azure. Okay, so it is taking a while to create the repository. Even in the meantime, we can log into the J2 Azure portal and verify the repository status. J2 admin and enter the password. Okay, so once log into the DR site, our J2 site 2, and we can also see from here. Here it is showing only the site information. See Azure site 2 here. Okay. Seems the setup option is no VRA can be a repository. There may be some connection issue, but the option is this one. Maybe when we click on repository, this option, whatever we select Microsoft Azure storage, this setting information, application ID, tenant ID should be accurate. What I'm thinking is there may be some typos in the application ID and this ID, but hope you understand the option, how we can create the repository. If you get the accurate details from the Microsoft, you can enter the specific application ID and you can enter the specific tenant ID, application key. And then once you click on save, it will create the repository. How similarly we have the repository here, network SMB, network share, storage type network share, and connection type is SMB. And same way, even if you want to add a Skeleton Attesta and Skeleton ring also, you can just drop down menu, select S3 compatible storage and the connection type is S3. You can enter the respect bucket name, access key and all this information we need to enter here. Okay, so let me cancel and let's go back to the slide. Hope we understand the point where we can see the repository option. So you can use the repository for hot DR storage. You can use for disaster recovery purpose, and the cool LTR repository for you can use it for a long-term retention storage purpose. Okay, so hope you understand this point. That's it for today. And if you're watching this video first time, please do view, like, share, and subscribe to my channel, Gnan Cloud Garage. And if you're already subscribed, I appreciate all your support. Bye for now.